to literally me waiting on me to click play. There it is, and we are off. Okay, so up here we have team 1 sloped across the top, we have team 2 rocking around here down the bottom. First up for team 1 down here, we have Trips and Clips, and he's UPF and he is brown. Just in behind Trips and Clips we have a Cybran Commander, who's, well, what a surprise, he's Cybran. Anyway, he's light blue and he's actually opening first air. Besides Cybran Commander in the mid slot we have Burning Firefly. He's yellow, he's Aeon, he's getting a T1 land factor with double adjacency, good on him. Beside him we have Legend Lore 2, another second UEF player. He's orange opening first land. And finally for team number 1 on the far right hand side, it is Rowan Morse, the highest rated player on team 1 and indeed the highest in the game at 1800. So a few pros stepped in here, got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. But anyway, he's UEF, so that is a solid UEF showing for team 1, 3 of them, 1 Aeon, 1 Cybran, and he is in Science. So let's have a look at team number 2. Right, down on here, first up we have Jay Ritchie, and probably just going to call him Richie, never mind the J. Anyway, he's Seraphim and he is in combat green. And behind Richie it is Zaznuba. Zaznuba is the also Seraphim in red and the lowest rated player at 1000, which matches Cybran Command, so both teams have a 1000, but 3 1700, so 3 pros on team 2. Anyway, in the mid slot it is MSG. MSG is Aeon, he's grey, he's walking his way up to the front. Beside MSG, also walking his way up, is Matri. Matri is pink, Matri is Seraphim. And finally, for team number 2, it is Wesh. Wesh is Aeon, and Wesh is in. Let's have a quick look at the reclaim of the map. There's a reason these guys are walking forwards with their comms, because there is a shit ton of mass to reclaim. There is a whole bunch available, and of course it's mirrored on this side as well. So this little section here, if we zoom right on in, just this lot, we're looking at 2.5k reclaim that you do not want to give up to your opponents without a fight. So Matri is planning exactly this. Commander's on the way. Of course he's mass along the way to reclaim, but why get that when you can go right up here and grab all of this first, which is what you want to do. We see this is Cybran. Commander is planning an edge build in a very roundabout way. Is his commander actually going to walk up or something? So what he's trying to do is an edge build. Unfortunately he's doing it the wrong way. What he needs to do is get a move command here, so have his commander walk here, then put the factory command down, else he will try to walk right up to it and pop the factory down. But anyway, over on this side we can see Legend Lore's comm is sitting right here, and he's happily scooping up the big bits of mass completely unopposed, which is not too surprising because his commander could walk up this little gap here and he did not have an outlet for it. And this is the edge build I'm talking about. Had the commander move to the edge, then step down a factory, and that is how that works with an edge build. We see Cybran Commander actually going balls all the way down here. Is he? Wow, okay, so he's actually getting his comm to walk all the way down here. Maybe he's considering trying to cut off Matri, who is up here, and he is grabbing all the reclaim. So credits to him, he's getting a lot more of that. It's exact same as what Legend Lore is doing on his side, but Legend Lore is not going to get cut off like Matri could be. That is 2 commanders coming around now. So we have Cybran Commander walking his way up towards the spot, and we have Trips doing exactly the same thing. This is leaving Matri, well, I was going to say a little bit exposed, but if you can get down some PD, which he's already doing, and if you can maybe get a factory up behind him, he might be able to hold that position a wee bit longer. But he's going to need to be careful. We do have a raid going on down here, a lab plus a scout coming away in there, being chased down by an Aurora and a Spirit, however. So reclaim order given out from the NGs, but the lab keeps on, or Mech Marine keeps on going, yes it does, and gets the kill on the NG. Just has 2 kills now, and not being chased by the Aurora. So that's, so Wish has decided not my problem anymore, and he's going to leave those guys alive instead of chasing them down. Here though, 1, 2, and 3. Oh dear. This is not looking great for Matry, I'm going to be honest. He has 3 commanders bearing down upon him and units up here as well coming from Burning Firefly, so 1, 2 and 3 comms. He's going to have a pretty bad time. PDs open up and a bomber comes out as well, and that's going to be problems because the bomber can take out this. Overcharges will knock out the point defense as well. They're not going to last very long, and Matry now has problems. There we go, overcharge happens, bomb happens, and the PD are down. It is now a 2 versus 1, soon to be 3 once Firefly gets up there, and now we have RC coming, so that's going to be a very bad time for Matry trying to take care of all that. Tries to step up another point defense and he'll get it up only for it to die pretty damn quickly. I say that, but they bombs commander instead of the point defense, and it goes up and immediately starts firing away on whatever it can, and Matry now tries to get some distance, but point defense gets overcharged. It's that Cyber Commander and Trips. They both have overcharge, so the PD just simply does not last. Now there is all 3 commanders in the area, and yep, that's gonna be it for Matry. So early ejection there. He's already given over everything he owns to his teammate Witch beside him, so he knows he's done, and might as well give his eco over while he can before it dies and gets destroyed. But yeah, that's absolutely brutal, and he's out of the game. Huge push, and there's the 1700. Matry is gone from the game just like that, far too quickly and early. But let's have a look on the right hand side. Has there been a similar thing going on? We see Richie has got issues now, down to 5,000 health. He's got a commander, a gun con bearing down on him, and an army coming at him as well, and he's down to 2,500, and he's looking very unhealthy. Zasnova over here is trying to get a PD up with his con, but too little to stop, although it will help shoo Rowan away, but he's got a gun con, he can actually outrange that, and he has an army, so 7,000 health on him, single point of emergency, and Zasnova control case. I think he's quit. There's nobody decided to just simply quit without putting up any kind of resistance, and that's just left things not much. But we have mercies here from MSG. Are they going to be enough to kill off Rowan? The answer is yes. So that's like, well, 3 comms gone very quick. Excuse me, Matry died over here, followed by Jay Ritchie. Sorry, the first person to go. Yes. So Matry dies over here, followed by Richie on the mid, then Zasnova walks over, he leaves the game without even trying to fight it out, so he dies, but then Roman is taken out by Mercies, and we are suddenly at a 4 versus 2. Was a 5 versus 5, and in 7 minutes it is down to a 4 versus 2, and advantage Team 1 if they can push it and claim it. Alright then, let's see. Ooh, another Mercy coming out, so MSG with the Mercy push. Burning Firefly is quite low. Had another Mercy, might be able to come to 3,600. Yeah, he needed a second Mercy there, but there is not one on the field, so he's going to, but Firefly is going to need to run, get up some T1 AA, exactly what you need, fast firing, and will kill Mercies pretty quickly, because of course Mercies are very weak. Nope, don't even have another Mercy planned, so that trick is over. It has been done. MSG is now switching up to just generic T2 production, getting some power up. And he's going to need to do something about defending his flank, because these units are coming from Legend Lore. Looks like Legend Lore is wandering on down, trying to look for engineers that are doing exactly this kind of thing. If he kept on pushing, he could catch these guys out. At the moment, there's very little on the ground from MSG to do anything. T2 engineers are here, and they might want to consider some point defense, because right now MSG has very little on the ground. On the right hand side though, we see a large push coming down for Wesh, who has a double gun Aeon commander, so that is a tough guy to crack with T1, and he has got supporting forces behind him, so I think he should be okay. It's going to take a bit more than that, and they would need to push quite heavily to take him down. Units did come down here, kill those NGs. It can now just sweep around behind. Up here, the units have come out for MSG, and they will be able to defend against these lobos. Though the lobos, if they can get out of range, could wreak some havoc, but out of range they won't get. Kill? Not quite. Need 2 lobo shells to kill a T2NG. But dead they are. And okay, gunships are out. They will be handy, they can cover ground fast and take out groups like this. Very useful decision. Okay, Wish down here, taking on some T1 units. Needs to finish off their factory. But 3 people, if they all push at once, they could cause some real problems for Wish on that front. Legend Law looks like he has the right hand situation under control. T2 going down for a burning Firefly. A bold strategy, I guess, although he has got anti-air around the place, so doesn't need to worry about missies. Alright, single striker down here, did get a few kills, but is now dead to that gunship, and more factories going up for MSG to try and get some kind of army on the ground, which he has done. Got a bit of control there. Okay, over the side, that's a sizable force from Cybran. They are coming down, but they're coming down alone, and Trips could use that to push these guys in straight through the middle. But Cybran doubles back. He thinks, I don't want to face a Guncom and all those units. Could do with some air, actually. If there was some T2 air on the field, that could cause problems for Wish. Do we have any kind of tech there? Well, we do have T2 air, and it's going straight for T3. Not even bothering to that any T2 units at all. Over the side, we see Cybran, same thing. He has T2 air and popping down that T2 pigeon. No T2 pigeon. Oh, there it is. Just about done for Firefly, so that explains why he's going T3. Trips down here has almost finished T2 air. I don't see any T2 land tech. Nope. I don't even see his comm. Ah, they're all here. Still in a nice big group. Trips is there. Cybran Commander's there. And Firefly is there as well. Okay, now we have army facing off on the right hand side, so MSG has stabilized. Legend Law, well, he was able to do some damage and limit, or at least slow down the expansion from MSG. MSG has come back with a sizable army. Yeah, cites a smaller force and promptly takes it out, but Legend Law has expanded well, finishing T2 on his comm additionally, and he has T2 HQ in his base. Mongoose are coming out of there, a good choice against Aeon, because they wreck Auroras easily. And also, they outrange the Obsidian, so kite him away, keep him at range, and Mongoose do a great job at knocking off T2 Aeon units. Alrighty, checking out this side, what is going on? Well, we have Trips and Cybran with, I would say, bigger forces than Wish right now, except for the fact Wish has that Aeon Guncom. So that is the key in this force. The Aeon Guncom is worth quite a significant amount, and they definitely have more units. Right now, if they pushed all as one, they would cause massive issues, although having said that, those are a couple of Obsidians. Obsidians actually, so Wish has himself into siege. Now he's getting shields as well. They're going to be extra annoying. Very strong defensive tone from West, and getting shield on his comm, because why not? Make that comm even tougher. Right, we have T2 air on the way, and there is Janus coming out from Trips. They would be very good at mopping up these units. Throw down some of that napalm, burn baby burn, and we'll see the units just shift into melting season. And over here the units are looking like they're being introduced to MSGs. But again, we have T2 on the way. We have plus a shield in a poor position. You don't want to do that. You want to keep this thing at range, and that is going to be a very dead, very quickly Mongoose. Far too many Auroras to walk in front of, and that is a horrible thing to do. Anyway, that Mongoose died a horrible death for basically no gain. But look at the units here. Yes, you're facing off against the 1700. Yes, you're facing off a Guncom, but and the Earth did that attack. Kills an engineer and burns down a T1 mass extractor, but should be used against things like this. You could carpet bomb here and kill so many units with the Janus. Also has a bunch of tier 1 bombers. Again, you could spread attack those. They could do a lot of damage and kill units there. Just spread them out, have a go, everything, send everything in, and you'll have a great time. T3 HQ is done, and Quantum Reactor on the way, so we have T3 Air for Burning Firefly. Do we have a T3 shift? No, we don't. Still working on T2 at the moment for Wish, and there's no T3 Air for MSG either, so both of them a little bit more focused on the ground, and here we go. This is Wish moving up with his comm, trying to do as much damage as possible, and he does, but what they should try and focus on with the air especially, not the commander, the units behind. And the Janus comes along and promptly gets melted. Without dropping any of his payload, gets picked up by Swiftwinds and Inceptors and murdered quite happily. In the meantime, Cybran is basically trying to run away with units, and that's pretty much just giving free kills to Wish. Right now, they want to keep him out of range of that triad, move all these units in, because he's just going to gradually move forwards, and he's going to be able to outdo this triad quite easily. Grab them all, move them in. You need to do something before he does, well, that. Right there. Focusing down the triad, which is a main source of ranged DPS on the commander, and get in, get your air in, get your armies in, push right now, and try to break him. Okay, T3 Air is up and running for Firefly, and too late, the triad is down, and what's going to rebuild it? Well, nothing. Send in the air. Send in the air, you've got the air, use it now. There is some flak in there, but you could kill it out pretty quickly. There we go, Janus comes over and drops a good payload right there. That's a good spot for it. Take out a bunch of damage on the Oblivion. And your units, send in your units. Come on, Trips, they're right there, send them in. Need all the help they can get. Alright, shields are going down and nothing left. More Janus are here, not being used. They really need to. They could take out a lot of these units right here, but now we have Oblivion turrets down, so that is Wish pushing up with his commander, backed up by units, and NGs, T2 NGs here building Oblivion turrets are going to make life a misery. These guys over on the right hand side, we see MSGs doing the same thing. He's got a commander, although he's not a gun comm, just a T2 comm, is doing a PD creep with some engineers behind supporting and an army in front of him, just pushing Legend Lord back a wee bit. And honestly, right now this could be the biggest advantage if he can get some. Doesn't need to build ASFs because nobody here has T3. That's T2 air for team 2, so stop with ASFs and start throwing out some kind of air to ground stuff, because that will be a big weakness down here. Yeah, there's some flak, but and there are some swift ones around, but honestly, some air to ground over here would do wonders about doing damage to Wish. So switch up from those, even gunships, mercies, strat bomber even. You've got the build power, you've got the energy, you've got the mass maybe, but definitely you've got the air control now. You've taken out all of the air. Right now it's gunships. Okay, strat. It's going to take a while to build, it's going to be tougher though, and could do some damage to Wish. His shield is blinking or recharging. Okay, his shield is blinking because he is stalling in power because he's doing T3 shift in there. Yes, he is. So get that T3 advantage while you can and use it. Strat is 50% done, but how fast is that going up? Not very fast, because assistant has changed. He decided I need more power because the shields on my commander are blinking on and off, and I can't afford to have that happen. Right, up here what do we have? Well, there's Oblivion turrets up on the ridge firing shots down. That is from a Burning Firefly doing this thing. These T2 units though, they are quite happily warring their way, and in the meantime trip space has been absolutely pushed. Nothing left. He's currently reclaiming a mass extractor, looking to build another one, but in come the units from Wish, and that's going to cause some issues on that front. Has got a few NGs up here popping down a radar, but this band of T2 units, they have not a lot between them and anything. A strat bomber here would do wise to wander over this way and start dropping its bombs on those, wanting to slow those down, but where's it going? Not sure where it's going, it's just hovering in the middle somewhere. And in the meantime, Firefly is taking some free damage from some Zooies. Not great. Alright, T1 bombers trying to do the thing, some Cerberus turrets are trying to help out, and all this going down, and Cyber Commander is also there with his GOM. You want T1 PD. T1 PD, good evening Iger. T1 PD would be the better choice here because it has a faster fire rate and higher DPS. Yeah, there's Obsidians, but oh man, he still wants to have overcharge on those. Take them out, but oh, T3 PG gonna go down, and that'll be the end of some air production. A whole lot of willpower dead. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to clean these out now. Where did that strat go? Well, here it is. It's doing, I don't know what it's doing. Seems like it's kind of flying around in circles, not getting a lot done. It wants to be hitting some mass extractors if nothing else. There we go, there's one bomb away. This section over here would like some love. There's an NG building. That would be a really good target, but in the meantime, Wesh has just kept on pushing up, and now having to rebuild that T3 reactor. We'll build another one back on there and be good. T1 bombers all over the place from Cyber Commander, just trying to stem the tide of these Zooies, which is definitely what they need to do. And what has happened to the strat? Oh, there it is. Still around, dropping his payload down, and deboof. You could plant one right there and get both mass extractors and the NG. That would be a fantastic spot to do it. SAM launcher has been built by T3 engineers that have popped out of the factory for MSG. So the strat bomb does not have a huge amount of life left. Well, it's still a kill on the NG and the mech, so a bit of a bonus there. Alright, up here, this lot have finally been finished off. Maybe there is a flak having fun times, but the Zooies are dead. And it's the end of the push through from Wesh on the right hand side. More mass going down, so doing better, but if that thing swings north, it's going to run into the SAM, which will be a terrible time of it. T3 is down for Wish as well, so both these Team 2 players now have T3 air available. And another T2 mix. That's better from the bomber, is doing reasonable work, has now been locked onto by an ASF though. Its lifespan is limited as soon as that thing catches up. Alright, we have T3 from Legend Law on the ground, running into some Oblivion turrets. Doesn't really help, but they're going to be great at cleaning up all of this T1 spam. Going to have a fantastic time. T1 bombs come out as well. They could drop their payload and just spread attacks and kill a whole bunch of things at once. There we go. Pick up different units, drop your bombs in different locations. Cannot avoid, and that's just murderous intent. But they will die to the ground fire. Still, they're worth it. Okay, up this way, and let's have a look at where she is firmly entrenched over here. Got a bunch of T1 AA, a couple of Oblivions, a couple of shields, a whole host of units. And his commander's back here under a shield, and his own personal shield, looking very happy, very stable. Going anywhere. Up here we're seeing Burning Firefly still standing on the ridge, and I'd say, well, kind of lightly defended. He's got a few spectres out. Not much for them to do. They can't really do much anymore because there are ASF coming out from both of the Team 2 players. He has finished rebuilding that reactor, is doing this one now as well, so that'll help get his any kind of power issues he's got under control. He'll be able to spam out those guys quite happily. Righty. Scouts out from Wish, having a look at what he can see. And what can he see? Well, you can see 4 T3 factories with the HQ here under shield for Legend Law, so he's going to be popping out T3 units quite happily. And speaking of T3 units, moving down the right hand side now, and if they can skirt maybe a little bit further away from those Oblivions, they will have a lot of fun mopping up all this T1. Having said that, the T1 is arsey and it can dish out damage for walking straight lines. You see this poor Titan very much hurt from just walking in a straight line from all of that, but they can get right down here and cause issues if that doesn't happen. So MSG, paying attention, is planning ahead on where these Titans might be going, and pops out some T1 PD with some wall sections, and that is going to hurt those Titans when they get in range. But here they go, they're now just meandering around this spot here, walking a little bit back and forth, and just look at all the T1 melt. 21 kills, 13 kills, 8 kills, 18 kills, going up constantly. These guys are just cleaning up and having a lot of fun with it. Out comes a Strat Bomber though, that's going to help reduce their survivability. 3 with 1 bomb. All these guys dead. Now they're walking to range of the T1 PD, and that's just going to be even worse. So they're not going to get much more done than that. And MSG says, I can move my units away now. They're basically dead, although having said that, not surviving too badly. I take that back. Along comes the Strat. Only 2 left, still in range of those PD, and it will go down. So the reasonable run-by has diverted the entire army, which has afforded a push up the front here. Just enough to take down shields, and not quite the T2 arty, which would have been a good catch. But nonetheless, we have Ravager back here. Ravager has good range. It's going to take out a good amount of stuff as long as they can keep it, the T1 spam away from it. The T1 spam is a good answer to Ravager fire. Also is T2 arty, though that seems to have missed absolutely everything. Question is the T2 arty in range of the Ravagers. What's the ping for? The ping's for air, because Wish is overhead with his air. And now we have T2 arty being put down on the ridge by Firefly. He's having a good time with that. Strats out from Wish. So he's been just taking it easy on the front over here. He's got a couple of strats out, and the question is, where are they going to be used? And what has happened? So there are a few ASF in the region for Firefly. But the T2 arty is going to have some fun. Right, this lot are moving up ever so slowly. They can be taken out by all sorts of things. We see an Air Factory HQ here, popping up some transports. Drops coming in, that's fine. It's just NGs looking like they're probably going to be going for reclaim. There's a strat overhead from SG as well. Okay, more strats actually. 1, 2, 3. Was that handed over? That's over, maybe. But either way, we have 5 strats in the air now for team number 2, and they are grouping up together. Do they have a target? Is the question. What are they going to go for? Do we have some ASF in the air to be defensive, depending on what they have a look at? Over on the side, we see Zooey Mania. So many Zooeys. Be careful about that. T2 is going to be the way to stop those. In come the ASFs. And the strats are going for Firefly, and he's going to have a bad time. He's only got T2 on his comm, and what are the ASFs from Firefly doing? Well, they're up here, and they are about to get cleaned out. Nowhere near his comm with the strats. And Wish's Airwing gets him behind them, and now Firefly has nothing to stop these strats. His commander's going to have to duck, dodge, weave, and do as good as he possibly can to avoid all of those bombs. 2 more and he's a dead man. And absolutely nothing to stop them. There is some T1 AA on the ground, but yep, it's not going to survive any of that much longer. Stress camera for another pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different angles. He can duck and dodge all he wants this time. I don't think he's going to get out of it. One direct hit. Miss, and another miss, so he survives on 750 health, but those strats are still in the air. And another one comes in from MSG, that misses as well. 2 more from Wish, and Firefly bites the dust. He is absolutely 100% a dead man to strats from Wish, so that evens things up a little bit. And now it is 3 versus 2 instead of 4. Now also a giant game. Well, no full share is on, so this is all free game for people to claim. And T3 Air needs to start on up. Is that a strat coming out of there? A curious decision. I think he wants to consider making ASFs instead, especially with strats being in there. What is going on there? Is that a bomb Linus or a control K? Maybe a control K to knock out the T2. Yeah, but check this out. Titans backed up by Percivals. That is never going to end well for you. T3 on the ground, going to mop up those fervors quick smart. And we see just exactly what happens to the T2 PD once Percivals get in range. It dies. It does a really fucking horrible death. Alpha Strike of these things are glorious to behold. Boom. Unfortunately, what they don't have on the ground here is anti-air. A couple of T3 Cougars would do well to help thin out these strat numbers, because that is going to be their main opponent right now, which they cannot do anything about. Alright, pushing up on the left again is Wish, just a gradual creep from these units. Plenty of Zoes and nothing doing on that front. Going to carve their way through that because there's nothing to really slow them down. Got a bunch of T2 turrets up here, PD, sorry, and they'll be able to stop the Zoes. Nice rapid fire, won't overkill them too much, but this has been a decent push from Legend Lore. So he's got units coming in left, right and centre. Of course Percival's very tough, take a while to kill, and he's going to mop up those, and these guys on this side are going to have a great time as well. Strats are overhead trying to limit the damage being done, but seriously, there is enough, and he's pushed MSG right back, all the way back to this section here, and still got units rolling right on, and pillars are coming on through. They're going to have a good time. Bit more rapid fire than the Percivals. They're going to take out the Zoes while the Percivals come in to do the heavy damage, although they're now being focused down by some gunships. Still, damage is damage, and it's all counts. Well, left hand side again, and okay, Wish has stopped his push. He's just finished off that little spot. We see, well, trips has been reduced to not much. Don't know where he's getting his mass from. Must have something somewhere. Been donated perhaps? Or he's doing reclaim. Maybe he's doing reclaim. Either way, he's only got that little bit base left, got a bit of power but no real mass income, so it's going to take him a while to do much on that side. Checking over here, we see that, well, Legend has popped an impressive little hold here. Does have some PD going down and flak going up, whereas I think some SAMs, there we go, there's a SAM and there's a Cougar, so he has considered the air game and is now getting some air defenses for his ground units. Alright, what you doing, Wish? Well, he's doing something. Was that? That might have been a drop. Yeah, there we go. This is some UEF transports, and oh, that one looked like it got caught, unfortunately, and did a lot of damage. Almost killed a T3 Pigeon by the look of it. Completely missed that while having a look at some other things. Almost a successful drop. I'm guessing that was from trips. It seems like kind of thing that would go from him, and a drop coming in from Wish. So a counter on that front, and air transport with a couple of harbingers. If that gets down, it's going to do some good damage. In come the ASF. No, it doesn't survive. Oh, that's rude. That is rude. The transport got shot down before it had dropped the harbingers, but they land without an issue. Apparently they can survive falling. So they're going to wander around, they're going to start doing a whole bunch of damage, and there's very little to slow them down, although when there's some gunships, oh wait, those belong to Firefly, and of course Firefly is dead, so nothing doing on that, and they're going to have fun just romping up this way, and they're just going to kill off all these T2 mixers. Absolutely zero issue. Sovereign is coming in with his common, of course he does have overcharge on that, so as soon as he gets in range he can start popping those, but nonetheless that is 4. Well, I thought he would overcharge. Here goes one. Yeah, so he'll kill those off, that'll be no drama. Except for the fact he's lost 3 T2 mixers. Still, he's a T3 column himself, so he can rebuild those pretty quickly. Maybe not quite as much of a loss as it could have been otherwise. Right, the air comes out from Cybran. I don't know what it's doing there, going in piecemeal against Wish's air wing. Never going to work too well. Try and keep those things under control in a nice tight group, else they will fare quite poorly. Okay, over the side, where do we go? We've got some Flak, we've got some Cougars, got some Percivals, a lot of Percivals, a couple of Titans, and a bunch of anti-air. So looks like they're dropping in to do some shenanigans. Maybe just put a bit of pressure on. Want to keep MSG contained within this section, and not a bad idea to try and do so. Okay, oh hello, we have a nuke, and that is 25% of its way towards being built. Has it been noticed? We have SMD going up. That looks, yes it is, so SMD is being built by Wish. He's trying to build that up pretty darn quickly, And any SMD for SG? Well, I don't see any. Not yet. No, I see no SMD, so MSG in fact is wide open to the nuke, and by the time it takes, although he's building a GC down here in the corner, and that's 30% done, so he hasn't been entirely idle with Legend Lord doing his things, and that's a lot of assistance on that nuke. It's going to build up pretty darn quickly. Having said that, there's not much in the way of anti-air surrounding it. There's no SAMs. So we have some flak going up from Cybran, not the greatest option. Flak is kind of slow and not very effective against strap bombers, because strap bombers can fly past the flak by the time it targets it. The strat's out of the way. SAMs are a better thing to use, but hey, what do you know? There are some few ACFs up for Legion, just sitting in the general direction of that, and a couple of Cougars around, so he's got some anti-air. Does have a couple of SAMs there as well, so it should be okay. But that is a whole bunch of strats, and what are they going to go for? I think they're going to be used defensively against this army, but behind it of course is all the anti-air, the Cougars, and in comes some ASFs from Cybran, and they are going to tear up those strats. That is actually a pretty darn good catch by those ASFs. So not only do the strats get knocked out of the sky by the Cougars, but the ASFs come in and clean them out as well. Okay, Percivals are stuck standing still while further fire rains down upon them. Not what they want, but there are of course the Titans in the area to help clean up. And look at that fire coming from the Cougars, and Strat survives on 200 health, but the Titans are great against fervors. Rapid fire killing the weak little artists, for its Percy's overkill hugely with their single massive shots. Who's doing great jobs against the Strat there. Dies a horrible, horrible death. How's that nuke coming? Well, it is about 80% loaded. It is very nearly ready to be launched. We check down here, the SMD for Wesh is only 50% done, but SMDs do load faster, so we may see this one complete out. Where's the SMD for MSG? Well, we don't have one. He's just started it right there. Only just started it, so wide open for nuking. Absolutely wide open, ready to die. That nuke is just about loaded, and it's going to beat both of these guys, so a nuke either way. That's a lot of GCs planned there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lined up for Wesh, so he wants to build a whole bunch of those. And how's that GC? Well, that's 77% done, and the nuke is going straight for that. Seems like a silly idea. He could have moved it left some, popped it around about here, and that would have killed all of this, and had the radius to kill the SMD as well. I guess he doesn't want to risk it. Anyway, he's lobbing it right on the SMD to destroy it. Away we go. Let's just have a look at what it's actually going to catch, and as far as eco goes, not much. Takes out a couple of mixes, takes out a T3 Pigeon. I guess that wasn't so bad, and a fair few T3 NGs as well. So not an awful nuke in the end, but I still think to the left a bit more would have been good. Could have maybe taken out the T3 Air HQ as well. Anyhow, that GC is very nearly done, and once it is, it'll be able to carve apart, well maybe not actually, because that is a lot of Percivals, and GC or no, that is a scary amount of Percys to face up against any kind of experimental. And is that T3RD? Yes it is. So mobile T3RD lobbing the shells over, gonna have a go at things. The air wing for Wesh is doing I don't know what. Has decided to get embroiled in an air fight over the opponent's base, and no more ASFs for you, sir. That is air completely and utterly won by Team 1, and they should now take advantage of that. Right, GC is on the way. This force has been dwindled, thinned out. It has been thinned out by a large number of Oblivion turrets that were sitting in here. Of course, the Percy's are still, plenty of them are still alive, and we do have the issue of Zoes in the mix, which are going to make things absolutely worse. But let's have a look. Percivals versus GC and Arnclaw. If they can get in range and start shooting directly at it, you'll watch the health just fall off that one horribly. 1, 2, 3, but it's going to be, I think the GC probably going to take this one. It does have a few Percies to get through, but sitting at extended range is just the face laser, no claw usage, but the Zoes are the extra assistance, and you see those shells rain on down, and the Percies are going to be obliterated. Oh, what is that GC going to walk into? Oh, the answer is not a lot. What is that? It is trips dying by Control K. I think that was a true Control K because I don't see any units around him. I think he's just had enough. He's tired of triangles. They had a Continental absolutely full of T1 Arty. That could have made its way into an interesting spot and done a lot of damage, but nevertheless he decides he's had enough. He's out of the game. And we'll see you later, troops. Okay, things go a little bit quiet. We do have another GC on the right from which that is stomping us up. So experimental aside, a GC on each side. And this one has a Rankin Vet which is helping us regen. So we have a Fat Boy or Legend Law, and as long as he can keep that at range, keep it behind all of this, it's a lot of Percies again. It will be able to dish out some excellent damage, especially against all these bloody Zoes. Right. Bing. Anti-air. This GC on the left hand side, supported by a whole bunch of things. Here comes Strats. That is a lot of damage on the GC. One pass and it is down 25% of its health. These ASFs come in from west, but they are munched by the dual air wings from both Cybran and Legend, and Strats survive. They're ready to take another pass, and they're going to take another few of those, and the GC will be down, so I suspect we'll see them swing on back. Yes, they are, because there's nothing much. There is some anti-air on the ground, but it's going to take a long time for that to stop that many Strats. And they're good to go. Here they come on in, bombs away. Down they go, and you can't really avoid Cybran bombs. 40% health left on the GC. It makes a U-turn and heads back to base. It's not going to get much done. And on the right hand side, well, the other GC has been picked up by a couple of broadswords, and we can see exactly what a Fat Boy does to Zoes. Explodes them in great numbers. AoE from its big old guns there just cause the Zoes to melt into rubble very quickly. Look at the shells just slammed. Glorious. You want Zoes? I give you Fat Boy. I give you Titans. I give you death. So Zoes are probably exceeded their usefulness about now. And how's the GC? Well, that's all the way back there. How's the other GC? It is walking way back, 1700 health. Nothing left on that thing. But Wish has another 2. So 2 more GCs for Wish. They're on their way out. What's that ping for? Yeah. SMD, so there is the anti-nuke loaded there. Anti-nuke is not loaded for MSG, so we single broadsword having fun shooting away at a Galactic Colossus, but does that over some SAMs, and that never ends well. He is still moving up, and that could cause alarm bells for MSG because there's not much to stop that. And these units coming in as well. Having said there's a huge bank of PD down here which will cause some big issues, and Wish finishes another experimental. Is that another GC? Is it? So he has 3 fully health GCs plus a 4th virtually dead one. So great for Team 1. How's that nuke doing? Well, we are very nearly about to launch again. What are you going for? If they knew MSG was in the pond, which they don't, but if they knew, that would be a prime place to nuke. Looks like it's going down here though, once again going for the SMD. Once again a curious spot. I would have sent it back a little bit, maybe over this way some more, catch some of these factories and a few more of the mass extractors, but either way it's going to die. And there is a GC, but this time doesn't have Zoe support, and it's getting Fat Boy fire to the face, so it's not going to last long. Nuke lands, takes out the SMD and 2 mixers. So a little bit this way, a little bit that way, could have killed some of those, but I think this way would have been better. Could have get a bit more. That Cybran Commander has finished an experimental. He's got a Fat Boy of his own, so he has tech from somewhere. Is building his own nuke as well, so 2 nukes would be a bad thing, but the issue is about this. 2 more GCs on the way. Strats come out for another bomb run. They decide to really kill those obsidians. Like, oh no, where's your air wing? On the ground, not being helpful, and that is all your stress gone. You needed those because you have GCs walking into your base. You absolutely needed those stress to help out. You have GCs, you have Zooey swarms coming in, and you do not have the point defense on the ground to slow these down enough. Fatboy needs to get a move on, does not want to stop GCs walk faster, keep running away. Sitting there is going to be a very bad time once the GCs catch up to you. Right, we do have more strats coming in. They're going to drop their payload down towards trying to kill off one GC. If they can get that guy, it might help a lot. And how's your point defense? Got a bunch in the base. Really want to stop building that. That is a waste of time right now. Absolute waste of time. Not going to survive, it's not going to load, and Fatboy needs to be honest on the tot. Is targeting the wrong thing, has been spotted by one of the GCs, and we're going to see that, or maybe I take that back. Second GC's in there, so first one goes down, but the second one is close enough to the Fatboy to kill it, and there's a third GC behind on full health as well. Legend Law has finished off a satellite actually, and his army has gotten right into the base of MSG, so taking out so much ego there. We are seeing the death of a whole bunch of mass extractors. We're seeing power getting obliterated, HQs dying off. Kill the T3 air HQ would be great. In fact, he does focus on that now. I see the PCs are pointing towards it. It won't take long with that many Perseus, and restorers will take far too long to get through them to keep that alive. Down it goes. However, still got a small base down here. Does MSG, which is basically not got a lot left, and now it's all about the push on the left from Wish. Satellite is overhead and is trying to get some damage done, but it's going to take a very long time to get the health down on that GC, and Percival's are coming out, but they are coming out piecemeal, one by one. Never a great idea. They need to focus the GC down. There was a Fatboy, yeah, a Fatboy being built, but right now maybe point defense would be the best thing to do rather than Percy's. Not much left. Those Percy's ain't a thing when you're faced with that much. GC is stomping his way forward. It ain't stopping, and of course supported by the Zooies. Comes some more strats. Nice bombs away there, direct onto the GC, and it's down to half health, which is 70,000 because it has 4 ranks of veterancy. It's not going to stop. And there just simply is not enough here on the ground to slow that thing down. Having a good go of it, but it's in range of, well, basically everything. PD is lighting it up though, down into the red, but just remember, once they kill this guy, there's a second one. And a wave of Zooies ready to go. Another Fatboy down here, lobbing its shells in. This thing gets a run. This 5th rank of veterancy and survives even longer. And now, second GC has overtaken, will be the main damage sponge while this one rips up. Percy's still in the way. Cyber Commander's up here and he gets bumped by a Fatboy, though I don't think it's going to matter at this stage. You add in the Fatboys with the Zooies, some anti-air as well, just for fun. And this is going to be the end of Legend Law's base as well. One GC goes down, but Cybern is well within range of the second one. Say goodbye to Cybern first off. GC down 67,000, but just have a look at what's left. Not a lot. All the point defenses down here, nothing up here, and well, that is basically the end of Legend Law's base, especially once this one here gets in range of his HQ, which is absolutely necessary for putting out more Perseus. Though we're seeing power dying off as well, more PGs going down. Restorers come on in from MSG, the ones he has left. They get shot down by... No, he might have survived. Might have been able to survive if Cybern had focused on something other than a second nuke launcher. But nonetheless, he has been caught. GC's found him, Restorers have found him, Legend Law is down. Oh look, a donut. So after all of that, even if they survived it, there was a donut overhead ready to go, and the GC coming up here from MSG as well. So that, I think, will attribute this victory over to Wish, who did fantastic things on the left hand side. He managed to hold off 3 players who could have pushed as a team and caused some serious issues for him, but he survived, kept on going, and even as MSG was getting, I've got to say, Legend Lord did a great job. Legend Lord did a really good job on the right hand side. You have a look at what was left of MSG's base. He made great tracks in this direction. Unfortunately, left hand side could not hold off Wish once he got going. They let him eco up a little bit too much, and he took game P to Wish for that. So from 4v2, these guys have come back. Won it out. Wow, that was a bit of fun.